Ahoy, fellow pirates. This is Matt, Be Love and Be You, tuning in on Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. This is an exciting day to be doing this stream, and I show up and it's not been easy because I'm pretty under the weather. I think Elon was cranking up the 5G this past week, and man, I got those flu-like symptoms going on. But I'm showing up as strong as I can for you guys today because this is a pretty historical day in the market, which I'm very excited about. I know it's not been easy for a lot of people, but we're here to make some sense of it, right? So if you guys are tuning in on the Discord, Pirate Chain Discord is where you can check out the audio. I've also got the video and the charts loaded up on befree.tv. That's any website, any device, no login, no account required, befree.tv if you want to check out these charts, and I recommend it. So today's topic, the ultimate crypto strategy to survive the Great Reset. This is a call that is especially geared towards folks that have no idea who Satan Claus is, what the Great Reset is, what owning nothing and being happy is going to feel like. And we're watching it all play out in real time. I'm going to show that to you guys in the charts. And today was kind of one of those days where I realized that the Great Reset is it's going to be revealed in the charts, and it already is. So let me go ahead and pull those up now. I recommend befree.tv if you want to check this out. Right now, at the time of recording, to me, this is no man's land. This is a no trade zone right now for crypto. We are in a capitulation mode. The line in the sand is 28,767 for Bitcoin. Reason being is that if you zoom out, that is basically the boundary line for where Bitcoin has dropped to in this entire bull market cycle, which I think it's safe to say that this is no longer a bull market. I've been shouting that from the rooftops for weeks, if not months now, that we're in a bear market. And it takes time for that to be confirmed on many levels, but right now, if you guys are looking to buy the dip, to buy low, I just urge caution because there's supremely lower targets ahead. Whereas even if we did get a bounce, say, from this level, the likelihood of being rejected somewhere between 32 and 37,000 is very high. And for us to revisit those lower targets, it's totally in the cards. So if well, we'll just dive into the ultimate strategy. That's what we're going to come around to. So we got the DXY. It's been going parabolic for a long time. We've been pointing this out for a while. Dollar up, Bitcoin down. I did learn the past week that DXY is actually relative to all of the world currencies, all the fiat currencies. So it's not so much the buying power of the dollar is going up as much as its strength against other currencies is stronger. So that's really what we're seeing playing out here. The DXY, the dollar, the index here is within the index, the dollar is stronger than pesos, euros, yen, whatever you want to compare it to. That's really what we're seeing. Does that mean that smart money is getting out of risk on assets and into risk off assets like cash? Yeah, 100%. And this chart is the chart of charts. Shout out to my boy Steve, Optical Art Crypto, for whipping this one up because it really puts Bitcoin next to the dollar hand in hand, unlike anything I've ever seen. And if this is a bear market, which I believe it is, the average drawdown till we reach a bottom is about 83%, and that will take us from the point of the all-time high. That'll take us to about $11,500 for a Bitcoin. Do I think that's possible? 100%. Are we going to go there today or tomorrow? Probably not. But could it be weeks or months? Yeah, definitely. So moving on, we're going to zoom into the DXY. You can see that it's been pretty strong today, holding up. Let's see. I've been looking at Ethereum big time today, but it's basically just following Bitcoin. One thing I learned about Ethereum is it's really hard to trade Ethereum. Like it's a good way to get like quick gains you know, and quick scalp trades, but the bots and the algo, like, they're just on this, like flies on shit. Like, they hit this target here, 1997 for an Ethereum, hit it to the tick. So, like I'm saying, best charts in the game. I'm not lying to you guys. You can see that here. But, I mean, it was just balled up, and we haven't touched it since. Like, so, like, what I learned about Ethereum is that if you don't have your downside targets and set your order limits, meaning, like, you say, okay, I'm going to buy this amount of Ethereum when it hits this price. If you don't do that, the odds of you waiting and catching that price in the moment is pretty much non-existent. So you have to know your targets. You have to have the best charts in the game, like I'm sharing with you guys. You got to have the balls to place those trades and set those stop limits, or those limit orders, basically. And then hope that you catch that falling knife and that doesn't go right through your heart and end you, but that it basically bounces up and leaves you somewhere hanging out in profit. This is a very risky, very volatile, very dangerous place to be trading. I wouldn't recommend touching this unless you really know what you're doing, like professional, you know. So we'll dig into some more charts here. Basically, this M1 chart, this is the line in the sand, you guys, 28,767. If we don't close above that today, I'm supremely bearish on where the price is going to go tomorrow when the stock market opens. I wouldn't be surprised to see us in the low 20Ks tomorrow if we close under 28,767. Really wouldn't be surprised. Man, I'm all zoomed into these charts because I was, I mean, the timing of this stream was crazy because I was like, damn, this is really the time to be like entering some trades and focused on the charts, not doing a live stream. But I just hope that goes to show that I'm here for you guys, you know, because there's been many times where I'm counting on traders to, you know, tell me their buy and sell targets, when to take action. And you can tell they're just focused on entering the trades themselves and not really their following or whatever. So I'm here to tell you that if we basically get above this today, this target of 28,767, if we can get above that and hold it, that's bullish for some upside. And I would definitely be entering some kind of position just to catch a bounce if you're a little trading savvy. Yeah, because there's definitely some money to be made here. But overall, this is a downtrend that is probably not going to stop anytime soon overall. I might have to load up some more charts, you guys. These are all like zoomed in targets. Let me show you this one here. This is a trend line that totally, you know, we kind of popped above it here today, but it just held us down, and down we went. There's that trend line. Oh, yes, I wanted to show you guys this, since I'm only showing up here on Wednesdays. This was a massive falling wedge, usually breaks bullish to the upside. You see that triangular pennant? Yeah. So that was on the 9th, a couple days ago. It broke to the downside, and down we went. So now we're under these two. This is now resistance. This is not good. I really don't see us getting above this. So even if you entered a trade and there was some kind of bounce, I mean, you're looking at some pretty staunch resistance around like 32K. We could blow past it, but there's more resistance above. This H1 chart is pretty impressive. We're currently under this. This was once support, like way back. And that's how it works with these trend lines. If you kind of just follow them way back, you can see following this yellow line. This probably sounds ridiculous if you're not watching the stream on bfree.tv, but you can see we popped above this line, held support, came down, held support, and it's just been a strong support level for a long time. We're currently under that. Okay, that's not a good sign either. I do think what could be happening right now is that the bots and the algos and the parasites of the world are just washing out all of the people who are trying to go long here, because this is not a bad place to go long for this bounce. But they're probably washing everybody out, just liquidating with these wicks, you know. So really, you're looking for a candle body close. above that level that I told you about. Looks like we're creeping back up on it now. 28,767. Yeah, if we close above this, guys, I would be bullish to enter a bounce. Pick your crypto. At this point, who cares? Everything's going to rally. But most definitely Bitcoin is going to pop the fastest, followed by Ethereum. Let's see. Let me pull up Coingecko. Always like to check this out. All right. We're going to pull up Pirate Chain, check out the price for the day. This is the weekly pirate reading, so I hope you guys, if you're new here, just know that the reason we look at Bitcoin charts like all the pros do is because all of the altcoins follow Bitcoin. Okay, so if Bitcoin's going down, pirate, everything's going down. So we always look at Big Daddy Bitcoin. We can see that because of this price action, pirate is at a steal of 89 cents a coin. Typically in a bear market, you'll see these altcoins wash out on average about 90 to 93%. I was looking today and and that's from the all-time high, right? We're already like 95% down from the all-time high about a year ago. So is this a bear market kind of price for Pirate Chain? 100%. Like if you start dollar cost averaging it now, you're not going to be disappointed. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, and I'm going to be real, and say that I wouldn't be surprised to see the price of this cut in half. Because if Bitcoin's real downside target is 11K for like the ultimate bottom, and we're already at 89 cents right now, and Bitcoin's still hovering just under 30K, well, and if Bitcoin's cut in 2/3 in half again, what do you think is going to happen to every altcoin in the market? It's not going to be good. I mean, this is going to be a bloodbath, and overall, not a bad time to start accumulating. Would I be going all in right now? Hell to the no, my friends. Hell to the no on anything. Because at the most that I think we're going to get out of this market is a bounce. All right, so if you want to maybe double your money, we're getting close to that opportunity. I know it's tempting, but it's risky. It's super risky, okay? I want to bring up this history monumental. Of course, it's like #1 in the trending search. Terra Luna. Okay, Terra. Let's not look at Terra. Let's look at UST because that is the stable coin associated with Terra. And this was a terrible situation. I know it's not really that funny, but it looks like it seems to have recovered here. But this is very telling for the crypto market as a whole, this entire industry, because I can't really prove it to you right now in this stream while I'm under the weather, but I 100% believe that the entire Bitcoin rally was fueled by Tether printing. So just like the printer goes burr for the Fed, propped up the stock market, Tether, whatever creates that and runs that thing, I think it's shady as all else, is definitely responsible for pumping Bitcoin up to the price that it went to. And I think that Tether is the rug pull waiting to happen for the entire crypto market. If and when it does happen, everything's going to fall out. And honestly, I don't know if I'd even be looking at charts at that point because nothing's going to make sense or be accurate if that happens. But seeing UST fall out and drop, like, what's it, 30 cents right here? Okay, this should be pegged to the dollar 1-to-1, like a stable coin, right? It dropped 70%. And this is money that you're looking to protect. Like you would tether up, right? What if you tear it up and you got $1 million and it turned to 300 grand overnight? Like, that's terrifying. Okay, so billions of dollars were lost here. It looks like maybe they were recovered, but who knows, man? I mean, this is just not a good situation. It's not telling for the future of stable coins, which to me is more bullish for Pirate Chain and Monero in the end, because after this bear market and all this, everything gets washed out. We all know that fungibility and sound money and fundamentals are what is going to last in this industry. Blockchain's not going anywhere. Crypto's not going anywhere. But these here today, gone tomorrow, hype chasing MLM inspired projects are they're there's fucking distraction, to be honest, and it's really annoying to see, and this hurts me to see, because I'm just so glad I wasn't in the situation, because up until then I was kind of, you know, looking at Terra like, okay, maybe this is a decent stable coin if it came down to it, but no, it's not, and I'll be damned if this ever recovers from the damage done here. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, would you ever feel comfortable putting your money back into this as a stable coin? Hell no. Point being is that right now, USDC is probably your safest bet for a stablecoin if you had to choose. Unfortunately, TradeOver doesn't offer that. They offer Tether. And my advice is that, my opinion, whatever, not financial advice, is that if you're going to be tethering up, don't do it for too long, is my opinion. You're better off holding almost everything you have in dollars until we have a confirmed sustained bear market bottom that comes in. And that really leads me to the topic of today. Why the crypto strategy? Why not the stock market strategy? Why not the real estate strategy? You know, like, oh man, so many ways to get rich and live the dream, right? Get the white picket fence. Yeah, now we're talking. Guys, this call is, you know, I might be preaching to the choir, but I've invited a lot of fresh faces to this call, and that's my goal with these weekly meetings, is to grow awareness of privacy coins, sound money, fungibility, and awareness of economics, Austrian economics, awareness of the charts, right? I'm not an expert at any of this, but I know enough, and in my opinion, everyone should know enough. You're basically, anything you don't know about the markets and these charts, somebody, I want to say a lot of people are 100% using against you for their benefit and for your detriment. So the reason we want to talk about the ultimate crypto strategy is because we're going to dive into more of what the Great Reset is. But, you know, this bear market here is potentially one of the last times to turn a little bit into a lot before the world changes so drastically and there's basically no escape from tyranny. And obviously I'm very optimistic about the Aquarian age. This is the era age of technology, of expansion, of communication development, societal development. It's all good. It's all going to be good, but I really see it getting pretty bad before it gets good. And I see it happening this year. And when you look at the markets all around, the indices and crypto, you can see that you know, this everything is poised for a pretty massive correction here over this coming days, weeks, and months. And to me, the ultimate strategy is to, you know, you could focus on puts or stocks or whatever else, but to me, the ultimate strategy is to invest in sound money, to invest in specifically the picks recommended by the Crypto Vigilante, who I've been connecting with more on a deeper level, who's really been kind of offering me more insight, seeing the responsibility that I've taken with these weekly calls, and helping me to appreciate investing from a higher level perspective. You know, and that's to not be a gambler, to not try and beat the market, to really just know your values and know your targets, right? So if your values are privacy coins and freedom, then what are the targets for these coins? You know, for Pirate Chain, Monero, what's like a reasonable buy-in? You know, that you're going to be happy saying, all right, bam, I'm putting the cash in. This is the bear market bottom. If it goes lower, maybe I'll buy a bit more if I have any powder left. But whatever, I'm in this to hold it for the long term. That's the ultimate strategy. Is that this bear market here might be our last chance to ensure our survival going into a world that we won't recognize a year from now, potentially. Okay, and I do think that avoiding things like UST and you know, these surveillance coins is going to be a good thing once the world starts waking up to what's happening. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more in terms of what's happening, like what is the Great Reset. Let me go ahead and introduce our co-host now, Vivian, so that we can dive more into the Great Reset. And I'm just going to take a deep breath, take a step back, and and I'll chime in if I have any points to add. You know, you might be preaching to the choir. Don't worry about that. I know you guys probably heard this all before. You know, let's do this for the kids in the back who are new to this whole situation. Tell us what is the Great Reset? When's it going to happen? Who's behind it? And then we'll dive into what we need to do about it.
So obviously, in the short time that we have, we can't get like full on into the Great Reset. So we'll do kind of just like a beginner's thing. And this is one of the things that you should go down your own rabbit hole because it's very time consuming. There's a lot to know. It's broken down into multiple parts, and it's so vast that, you know, I am barely touching the surface. But it's also one of those things, if you've been in the world of knowing that something right that's not right is happening, you also you're more perceptive. You can tell things don't seem right, and you're able to make your own kind of predictions. But the Great Reset, it's really part of two things. You have the Great Reset, which is comprised of 17 sustainable development goals. And there is a website for that. If you just put into a search Agenda 2030 or Great Reset, it's all going to come up. It's going to come up right away because it's actual official, you know, websites. It's a real thing. It's not a conspiracy theory. And you'll find all these big names that you've heard of before talking about it. There are politicians, billionaires, there's celebrities. That's, you know, all the usual suspects are involved with it. But alongside with the Great Reset, we do have our fourth industrial revolution. So those things go hand in hand together. So that's another one to search, which is basically us going into the age of AI technology. So when you combine that with the Great Reset, you kind of get this whoosh, you know, this complete change of the way we've been living our lives pretty much since the beginning of humanity. So for the Great Reset, I'll give you some examples. So it is the United Nations. Just go to the United Nations, and it shows their 17 goals, and they're listed with little pretty colors, little pretty rainbow colors, 1 through 17, 1 being no poverty, 2, 0 hunger, 3, good health and well-being, 4, quality education, and so on and so forth. So you look at the first one and you have no poverty. And you have to ask yourself, so how do we get to a place where all the billions of people on the planet get fed and there's, you know, no poverty, and they have homes and they have money and at least enough money to survive? How do we get to that? And that's the part that worries me, is how do we get to these goals of no hunger? Let's see, what are some of the other ones? Decent work and economic growth. Decent work, but yet we're going into AI. So I'm not really sure how much work there is going to be available for a lot of the people on the planet when machines start to take over. We have reduced inequalities, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, sustainable cities and communities. So if you've heard things like everyone's going to be living in the cities, yes, there is a push for everybody to be in the city, because in the city you can't self-sustain. Obviously, if you live more rural or even just outside the city in the suburbs, you're able to have space with your home and have a garden. In some cases, sources of water, if you're fortunate enough to be in a very lake-heavy state. You know, you've got like Minnesota is one of those, a land of lakes, or Florida. You've got a lot of water-heavy states. It's just easy for you to figure out a way to take care of yourself. We've been doing it for hundreds, thousands of years. So the goal is to get us to that point where we're not taking care of ourselves, where we're dependent financially and in every way to our government, our one world government. Let's not forget the one world government, because that's the goal as well. So as I'm jumping all over the place like my husband, 2030, what does that mean? That is the year 2030, so 8 years from now. That is the goal year. to have so many implementations. You've already seen the COVID thing. They tested it out to see how people would react, and we let them shut the world down on us for not just 2 weeks, but depending where you were in this world, months and some even years. And we let it happen, and we didn't protest it. We went along with it. And now, as a result of that, that is your great reset. So cryptocurrency is definitely one of those resets. They're going to try to get rid of cash, and you can see that now in a lot of places. When you go shopping, they won't take any cash. And it's funny because I watched some news clippings about robberies and stores getting robbed, and how they're going cashless now so that they don't get robbed. And I'm thinking, so in all these decades that we've had storefronts, they weren't getting robbed before? Like, that doesn't make any sense, because I've worked in many establishments that have had cash, and either A, somebody takes the cash out at the end of the night, or they lock it up in some impenetrable safe in an office that's also locked, and you got to get into the building, get into the office, and get into the safe, and the chances of you being able to do all three of those things before the cops get to the alarm is not always the most realistic thing. But, they show these people going into the cash register. Who leaves money in a cash register? I've never heard of that, but it just goes to show that there's so much agenda out there to make you think that these things are happening, and you're always going to go with it. You're always going to go with, oh yeah, well, that makes sense. It makes sense to go cashless so people don't get robbed, so businesses don't get vandalized. Sure. And that's how they get you. They have these little things that make it sound like they're doing something good for you and for your fellow neighbors and for your community. And then bam, next thing you know, you're like being locked in your house for an endless amount of time, to protect your neighbor from a virus. So the Great Reset, yeah, that's happening. And I'm not really sure what the solution is. I think knowledge is key here, and just kind of knowing what's coming, kind of catch it before it catches you. And at some point, if Maddie would like to jump in for a sec with me, what would your advice be, since you're so heavily into the crypto, as far as people protecting their money now that we're having to change the way that we use money?
Yeah, I mean, the advice is kind of what I shared about the ultimate crypto strategy. That's my advice for the Great Reset is watch out. In this crypto industry, there's going to be a lot of these people from the network marketing industry. And don't get me wrong, I spent a lot of time in that scene. I got a lot of great friends in there. Learned a lot. I think the business model is more fair than the corporate ladder scheme in most cases. So it's not all a Ponzi, but you're going to see a lot more and more of that flocking to crypto than ever before. And these are the type of people that are really shilling it. And I'm not really about it, to be honest, because it's the same kind of person that chases like a get rich quick scheme. And they just don't have the fundamentals of privacy and freedom at heart, generally speaking. Not in all cases. A lot of them are aware of the Great Reset. They're aware of all this stuff. But yeah, that was just a side note that I really wanted to bring up. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the cutting edge of the cutting edge of everything you guys probably ever heard. Okay, this might be the first time you've heard this before, and this is important because this is a worldview and perspective shift. And that is the fact that, like, everything that's happening right now, whereas the bad is being revealed, it's being illuminated, that's also part of the plan, right? I think a lot of us have been wondering that, like, well, isn't it so obvious what's happening here? It's so obvious. How come the masses don't see it? Yeah, well, don't worry. The masses are going to see it. They're going to be revealed everything when the globalists are ready to reveal it to them. And this has a lot to do with Hegelian dialectics. That's something you can check out But do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
All right.
absolutely.
Can you take it from here? Because, guys,
Yeah.
the market, if you guys are checking out the markets, it's looking like we might be finding some kind of support here. Not a bad time to start thinking about entering a trade for a bounce. I'm not saying do it, but just keep an eye. We are above that level that I was talking about, 28,767. We're above it. If I pull up the hourly chart, we did close a candle above that level. So now we're finding support, and we could be on our way up to maybe 30,600. So, yeah, just putting that out there. But yeah, can you explain the Hegelian dialectic and just the idea of a dark world order, light world order, with the other side behind the psyop?
So basically, I'm not going to get like super into once again, it's another one of those topics that takes forever, but through the darkness, the light will be revealed. That is the way it will go. So these people have been hiding. Obviously, when you try to talk to somebody who doesn't know what's going on, they always laugh and say, "Oh my God, you're such a conspiracy theorist," or things like that. Well, eventually, that veil is going to be lifted, and you're going to find out that people that we all said, your Bill Gateses and your Bezos and your Soros, all those people, you're going to find out that they have been nefarious and what they're doing. And then will emerge the heroes, because, the movies always, predictive programming, always show that good wins over bad. And you're always wondering, like, man, in every movie, in every show, good wins at the end. And so if there really is predictive programming, they're basically saying they're going to lose. No, that's not it. It good does win in the end, but once again, it's an illusion.
Yeah, it's all staged. All the world is a stage. Even the good guys coming forward, it's all a stage.
And we did mention Elon Musk last time, and I still think he is the top of the pyramid of that whole show, with how much of a fan base he has, and with his development of the Neuralink, which is supposed to help people with several different ailments and aging and all those things. How many people are really going to say no to that? I mean, you as you get older, do you ever wake up out of bed and you just can't even move, and you're just like, oh man, and to think that there could be something just implanted in you, and you would just pop out of bed, no more headaches, no more backaches, no more anything, you're just fine, and you can just go on with your day feeling super great while your aging has pretty much ceased, if not reversed. And who would say no to that? That's a hard thing to say no to. But that's not the only thing that can happen with having an entire AI system in your body. So there's that. What are the cons? What does this mean for you, your privacy? Everything about you is to be shared with who knows who. But yes, be careful with the heroes in the story, because they are not really the heroes of the story. They're just so that the masses don't wake up and fight, because obviously billions are stronger than a few, hundred. So they'll do anything for us not to collectively get together and fight. So once everyone wakes up and they realize, oh, we've been being duped, but here's our savior, your Jesus Christ figure. Yeah, that's not gonna be it. You're gonna have to get through all of that stuff before we actually get to the real villains and heroes of the story. But there is, I guess, much of an obstacle course to get through before we get to all that. And I don't even know if that's in my lifetime or in your lifetime.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a link for you guys by a content creator called probably Alexandria. Okay. So she, in my opinion, is on the cutting edge of this Hegelian dialectic that's been playing out. She is a Christian, and me being a New Age rock artist, New Age practitioner, just all around person in the New Age of Aquarius, I'm just not very optimistic about any cult or culture, whether that's Christianity, Catholicism. I mean, I was born in the Catholic Church. I don't know. So, I'm skeptical of all of that, I'm even skeptical of New Age and the New Age deception. But needless to say, that what she put together is the cutting edge of this whole concept. And she's going to really lay out all the facts way better than we could have ever have just done in this entire call. But I hope that made sense, because for me, that was like a massive aha moment, because I personally struggle every day. I made a post recently that knowing comes with great sacrifice. Knowing comes with great sacrifice. That sacrifice is like a social suicide in a way. Like, if it wasn't for us in the internet and us being able to find our tribe, like within the pirate chain community of like-minded individuals, I would feel very alone. And I still feel very alone. Like right now and every day, I have like a very limited number of friends I can count on my hand. They're almost guaranteed not blood related. So, you know, finding your tribe is how you're going to not only survive the Great Reset, but thrive the Great Reset. And I just get so angry and impatient that people can't see what's going on. And then I realized, due to this perspective, that that's part of the globalist agenda too, right? They're trying to get us all wild up and pissed off and outing ourselves and, you know, making the resistance known by what we're posting on social media. Like, that's all part of it too, you know? Like, eventually, there's going to be a big fat "I told you so" slapped to every single person in the world's forehead. Eventually, I really feel that. I think the George Soros, the Kill Gates of the world, the Satan Claus, they've all made their, you know, satanic oath that they're going to give themselves up, or that it's all going to be revealed, and that the true hero of this light world order, or Antichrist, maybe it's Elon or whoever else, is going to emerge, and they're going to come in with their blockchain systems and everything, and you know, issue a universal basic income and all kinds of stuff. God, there's so much to get into on this. Like, it's insane. Like, you guys have to watch this video that we're going to provide here on the replay to really just get like an in-depth overview of what's going on here. But that just begs the question for me. It's like, okay, so well, what the hell is the solution then? Because maybe if we're not gullible enough at that point, okay, now the dark energies, they out themselves. Okay, now now the good, you know, comes to light. The problem, you know, problem, reaction, solution. Here comes the solution. It's this person or group of people, and here they are, you know. Well, now that we know that's probably not the solution either. It's the same wolf in sheep's clothing, right? So what the hell is the solution, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Like,
so,
oh, sorry.
Well, I'll share a few of my points, then you go ahead. But the solution is what we're doing, guys. It's voluntarism. It's like the free market. It's actually like getting right with God and getting your hands in the dirt and actually having to be self-sustainable. Like, whether it's the external world that forces you to be that way, or it's your internal compass guiding you to be an independent, sovereign human being. Like, that's the only way. And I do believe that all of the solutions that are going to come from people and technologies and projects and things that we don't even are aware of exist yet, or are in their infancy, like pirate chain. Like, let's be real, guys. How much of the world knows about pirate chain? Not much. Okay, like, it's going to be things like this, the things we haven't even heard of yet, that are going to be the real solutions that emerge. Okay, so that's my 2 cents. What do you think?
I think if we're lucky, then we will live on the other side of the wall, unbothered, unperturbed. That is the best case scenario, I think, is that the powers that be realize that there is a group of people that don't want to be part of the way that the world is going. And we have to be respected and left alone to go live on the other side of the wall, basically, the old-fashioned way, you know, growing our own food, sourcing our own water, and building our own homes, and having our own rules in our own society, and just being left alone. And it actually sounds great, you know, a la Walking Dead, you know, when they have those little communities behind the wall and all the zombies are on the other side. It's very much like that. I'm hoping that that's the best case scenario, although these people are just nefarious enough to not allow something like that, because that means that it spikes the curiosity of the people that are on the other side of the wall that are like, well, what are these people doing out here? And, you know, it makes for, you know, rebelling or saying I want to be like that. So I don't know. Everything sounds like a movie. I hate it, but in my mind, when I'm thinking, it all sounds like movies I've seen, and I hate to think that our lives are just some sci-fi or some post-apocalyptic Mad Max movie, but I hope that we can just be left in peace and to judge ourselves and take care of ourselves at the end, because either that or they're going to just get rid of us. So there's that.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead and open this up for some questions, ideas, input that anybody wants to share. That was some great feedback by Amy to go ahead and bring that back to these weekly calls. They used to be kind of these meetups where people can just talk. I've got the charts open too, so you know, if we're still doing this and you know it's looking like a pretty good time to buy in for this bounce, I'll make it known. Otherwise, we'll just be here, you know, hanging out with you guys. So if you're on the Discord, that's a Pirate Chain Discord. That is where you can go ahead and chime in. I think you can also do it on BeFree.tv. Yeah, you can do that too. So either way, just open up your mic, raise your hand, whatever. I'll bring you up to speak. All right, cool. We got a hand raised.
Yay!
Amy, all right. Let's see. Welcome, Amy. Please do share your thoughts.
Hey, Matt and Vivian, thank you so much for the update. And Vivian, thank you so much for just the overall overview of what's going on with the Great Reset and stuff like that. So really appreciate it. And I guess just from a pirate standpoint, I was briefly talking to Benny the other day, and just, I guess, getting the word out for more merchants and more pirates. It's not just about the price anymore, but to actually get pirate in use. And that would be cool. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but I guess the more we speak about it, the better. And that's it for me. Thanks. And thank you all for doing these updates. This is great.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Great feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So to add to Amy's great feedback is, you know, I would say think about what you do, what product or service do you offer, and how can you integrate that in your life? Like, instead of us trying to always focus on changing the external world, it always starts from within. It starts with us. And I can speak from example that for me as an artist, be loved and be you. I've been teaming up with my boy D Wild. We're teaming up to like knock Porc Fest out of the park for Pirate Chain. That's our next event, big event in June. And we're just like, yo, we want like our own tables and our own booth, our own tents. You know, we want like the D Wild, Be Love and Be You tent with my own custom merchandise, powered by Pirate Chain. I've got QR codes that take you to my wallets to buy my merch, all on the table, postcards with the QR codes. Like, just make it part of what you're doing. And you know, obviously that, you know, like Benny was saying, like Amy was saying, you have to have the transactional aspect dialed in. And the simplest thing is just have a wallet address and, you know, just have someone send it to you that way. But when you start integrating like things like PayPal and Shopify, and, you know, then you've got API integrations and all kinds of more technical stuff, that's like the next level. But I would just say start with what it is you offer, what product and service, and then start including that branding and marketing and your QR code for the wallet within what you're doing. And that is a sure way to lead by example and inspire others around you to do the same.
Grow is a good thing, because that, what you just said, reminded me of when I was a little girl and my grandma took me to Mexico for the first time. I'll tie this in because you're like, what the hell is she talking about? But we went to this place called Xochimilco, and it's in Mexico or one of the, I already forgot. That's bad. I was 10. And you get on these cute little boats, and they're like really pretty boats. They all have like a name on them. And then if you are in a position financially, you can have other boats tie off to you. So you can get the food boat and they'll start cooking, and then they'll bring you food onto your boat and they'll be tied up to you. Then you can get like the photography boat and tie that up to another side while they take pictures. And then you could get the music boat tied up, so they're serenading you. So you have all these boats tied up, one on the back and then on each side. So it's kind of what I mean, like growing, like what Matt said about the pirate tent, and then doing the break-offs of the people that help with pirate. What do they have to offer? You know, so then you have the tent for this person and that person and that person, and they're all together with pirate right there in the center of it all. And you have the little break-off tents. And now that's a community. It's not just a pirate booth. It's a community of people that have come together, that have their own gift, their own talent, and the own thing that they learned that they're ready to share with you. And that's ultimately how we build our communities. And also, I was telling Maddie the other day, the infighting amongst our communities really needs to stop, because we need each other. There are far more sheep out there than there are foxes. I'm going to call us the foxes, because the wolves are clearly the globalists and the sheep are clearly the majority of the population. So we're the cute foxes with the cute fuzzy tails, but we still have the fight in us and the ability to go up against the wolves if we have to, you know, which we probably will at some point. But yes, community, no infighting, more community and more sharing. Instead of fighting, maybe tell your side of why you think what you have to say or your coin or your product is better. And, you know, dialogue, actual adult communication between everybody is the best way to stay together and stand strong in this fight, this gigantic fight. We're fighting a literal battle of good and evil, whether you believe in God or not, whether you adhere to religious anything. No. There is good and there's evil, and we're up against it right now. And we need to be one united front in that. I sound so girly by saying that.
Jeez, yeah, she does sound pretty girly, but that's why I'm here to balance it out with my masculine energy. I think being sick gives me a deeper voice, too.
Gives me it, too.
Oh, God.
Well.
Sheesh. To your point, you know, when you say infighting, I've actually never heard that before. You know, it makes me think of like maximalism, you know, Bitcoin maximalism, pirate chain maximalism. Maximal anything is like, I mean, that's just not a good, wise principle, I think, to hold in your psyche. Because, you know, I think the wisest man once say, he who knows everything knows nothing at all.
Really?
So, yeah, it holds true to everything, whether it's crypto or, you know, your beliefs, I don't know. But I was talking to the crypto vigilante himself, you know, and it actually kind of broke my heart. I could hear it in the timbre of his voice when he was telling me about, like, dude, he's like, people are really, like, starting to attack and, like, come after me and shit now. Like, not that they haven't before. Anyone that's in a spotlight that has such a bold, courageous voice is going to get attacked like that. He said, like, now they're really coming out, man. And I'm just thinking, like, well, like, that's not right, man. It just made me sad to hear it, because, like, someone that does so much for the privacy community as a whole and for sound money and for freedom, like, shouldn't have to put up with any shit, you know? They shouldn't be in an echo chamber of, you know, super fans that adore them either, right? They should be called out, you know, in a professional way, in a respectful way, if need be. But yeah, that I do have faith here that this pirate community is it's really it's something that Lutz likes to talk about, is like organic and fair distribution and growth. And even though pirate was very quick for the emissions of the coins and just the growth of it overall, I mean, within 2 to 3 years to go from pennies to almost $17 a coin is insane, you know. Even though that was the case, like, pirate does have a kind of growth and community that I think is going to be sustainable in the long term. To his point, you know, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I even though Pirate is like 95% down from the all-time high, I'm looking at like all the coins that are out there through this massive capitulation correction moment where we've been experiencing the past 3 days, and Pirate has just not budged until like today finally, where it's like, okay, fine, Bitcoin's totally in the dirt, like, all right, we'll drop in price a bit, but it has just held up better than Monero. It's held up better than Dero, any other privacy coin that I've seen, any other shitcoin surveillance coin that I've seen. It has totally been down like almost 40%. But Pirate Chain is, barely pushing 15% down, yeah, well, maybe a little more at this point, but that to me is a testament to those diamond hands, right? Even though I'm not crazy about the diamond hands thing, like the community here, they hold Pirate for the right reasons. Generally, I do believe, and they're in it for the long term, and that's why with these calls we hope to add value to grow our perspective as people, as individuals, as a community. Because what good is having all this money or all this Pirate Chain if like we're not good people, or we don't have allies that we can do things with those resources, like not even just go and have fun, but like build things, So
very true. Very true. And we kind of need each other. There's no point in having all this if it doesn't grow, So yeah.
My God. Yeah, so we're almost at the top of this hour. I wish I could say that, but there's one last thing I wanted to bring up, and is that I am thinking about moving the day and time of these calls. That was also a suggestion brought up by, I think Amy brought that up. Yeah. So thanks again, Amy, for the great input and having the courage to share that input. We've got some folks here from across the pond. I could tell that the Pirate Monthly meetings, I was working with Drath, whipping up that graphic for the last call. And, he had one basically around like 1 p.m. Eastern, and then another one at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Maybe if I can do a poll, I'm going to try to do that and drop it in the chat, but I'm just kind of putting it out there initially. Otherwise, if you guys have suggestions or ways that I can help figure out the best time for engagement, not even just engagement, but I just want, I want to reach the Pirates. I want them to be able to get this information like real time, find it at a time where they're not in the middle of work or sleeping or
dinner,
you know what I mean? Like, and there's also the other tactical, scheduling idea, and that is, based around markets. Okay, so like if I didn't have this call at 6:30 on every Wednesday, then I could do this call 4 times a month every week, which I would much rather do, because I don't know if you guys feel it, but 2 weeks of not telling you the TA to me feels like a freaking lifetime. So much transpires that I can't offer insight on for you that I feel like it's a huge loss. And especially, you're talking about the first call of the month is the monthly call. Like, that's like after a monthly candle close in the charts, which is a massive indicator or a technical analysis. Like, that's when you kind of want to be out here, it's, talking about that close and where the trend's going. So let's keep that in mind. Maybe like a Monday is a good time, Monday or Tuesday. Then we could kind of keep this 6:30 time. I don't know, but I'll try to do a poll or something like that.
Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna check my notes one last time. Because it is 7:30 now. Probably gonna wrap this up. I have a Zoom call to hop on like a dummy. To be honest, we keep having to reschedule this thing, and I just don't want to reschedule it again. So I'm just gonna suck it up and get it over with. Just want to say that Acorn Labs did drop a documentary. That is on their YouTube channel. Go ahead and follow Acorn Labs on Twitter and YouTube. Let's see. Wait, this video is unavailable. Uh-oh. Shit, maybe this got taken down. All right, we're going to have to get back to you on that. But if it did, we'll be sure to post the link to where that full documentary is about Julian Assange, Let's see.
Well, if that's the topic, I wouldn't use the word.
Right,
That's
yeah.
where you know.
And Ross Ulbricht, all those guys. I mean, it's. Also want to give a shout out to Benny. The Daily Dose Pirate Chain has been consistent. It's been growing. It's been a huge asset to the community. So go ahead and subscribe. Share that with your peers if you get a chance. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, feedback kind of what you would like topics you'd like to hear. With the short amount of time that we have, obviously, like today, there's no way I could sit down and talk about the Great Reset in a full like monologue, but we could do some digging and some learning, and then bring you like the light version, and then you can go off on your own. And I find sometimes when you go off on your own digging, you find some really interesting stuff along the way. So just let us know what you'd like to see. This is really my first time doing this is with Maddie these last 2 times. So I'd like to learn and grow and potentially get to a point where I could go on longer and have more details and more depth to the subject matter.
Yeah, totally. Always open to topic ideas. Again, we're going to keep more of an open format at the end of these calls moving forward. So next week, we'll see you at Wednesday, 6:30 p.m., unless we have that poll come out, we get new results in, but I don't know. Let's just plan for next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. regardless. And then the week after that, we'll see about changing the call time in the day. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. My name's Matt. You can find me at BLoveandBU on every social platform on the web. That's right. I did lock in the same username for absolutely everything. In this sea of imposters and scam artists and just wannabe noobs, you got to stand out, right? So I did it at BLoveandBU. Shout out to Acorn Labs, Lutz, for making this show possible. Keep an eye on the chart, guys. I'm going to drop this M1 chart in the weekly chat as soon as I end this call. We are still under that resistance level of 28,767. That is months, if not years long, of support that has now become resistance. That is definitely bearish for more downside. But we're going to keep an eye out tonight. Open that chart, check it out. Wish you guys all the best. Happy trading, safe trading. And until then, we'll see you next week.
Have a good night.